Hello, family members. Sorry I'm such a wreck today. I'm having a flare in my neck, so can't move around a lot. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about fat representation and just representation in general. I mean, we talk a lot about representation in terms of like sexuality or race or something like that. But we don't really talk about body type representation the same way, you know? And I think that's because in the very rarefied entertainment industry, there's this idea that the default human body looks a certain way. And anything that deviates from that is not a person who's likely to get cast all that often outside of like character work, right? I mean, you might have your occasional, say, Melissa McCarthy, but there's thousands and thousands of well, I don't want to, I don't want to say Christy Swanson. There we go. That's perfect. Thousands and thousands of Christy Swanson for everyone. Melissa McCarthy. Just trying to think of somebody who didn't feel like it would be unkind. I mean, maybe it's a little unkind to say Christy Swanson, but I mean, let's be honest. She had the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie and that one movie with Charlie Sheen in the car chase or something. Like, that's it. And she was absolutely beautiful when she was a young woman, you know, and had a very typical body. And how many actresses like her are there, you know? Tons, you know, thousands. And that's, you know, part of why the entertainment industry is so exploitative, is because they know anyone who wants to break in has to jump through basically any hoop to get there, you know? So anyway, gosh, I am such a mess anyway. So the reason I wanted to talk about this was after my last video the other day about anti-fat bigots. I had someone pop up in my comments and was like, you know, I recently gained a lot of weight and I'm having a like hard time dealing with that. You know, what advice do you have? And honestly, the thing that I remember the most when people ask me stuff like that is I have a friend of mine who she's, you know, she's plus size, but not very plus size. She's honestly, you know, probably, you know, lower, like less than average weight, you know. But we have such a distorted sense of what is and isn't average weight, especially for women in this country. But like, she once commented and told me, you know, you always wear such pretty clothes. And I saw this dress and I thought, oh man, it's a shame that's not in her size. She'd look so cute in it. And then she's like, but wait a minute, it's in my size. Maybe I should try it. And then she wore it to a social event and immediately got a compliment on it, you know? And like, I think that especially women, but I'm sure it's true for men and non-binary individuals as well, conscious or confidence is contagious. You know, if someone sees someone being confident in their body that they can relate to, that's going to make it easier for them to be confident in their body too, you know? If you see someone you can relate to in the media that you're watching, it's affirming. It's a very affirming thing. And so I think a lot of white people, and especially white men, don't realize this. We see ourselves in our media all the time. But one thing I don't see is I don't see myself in my media very often because I don't see women who look like me in my media, and I never have. That's another thing that makes the whole like fat people are encouraging obesity just by existing in public spaces argument makes absolutely no sense, because I grew up fat, and like everyone on TV and in movies and everything that I watched, they were skinny. Like it's not like seeing people made me not seeing people made me less likely to be fat, because it happened either way. And seeing fat people isn't going to make other people be fat. It's just going to make it so that maybe they're a little more likely to not hate themselves. And I think that that's the biggest problem for the anti-fat bigots out there, is that they feel like we should hate our bodies. Like they feel like they need to shame us. They're doing us a service by shaming us, because otherwise we wouldn't be motivated to lose weight. And it's like, have you not seen our culture? Like, you do not need to motivate anyone to lose weight. There's plenty of motivation that has nothing to do with random strangers on the internet, or even random strangers in public, like seriously, it's really, it's silly to think about that. People wasting their time and energy and feeling like they're doing some good thing by discouraging people from promoting obesity. It just cracks me up. But anyway, it's important. It's important to see people like you and being very visible in your sub-communities as whoever you are. You have no idea how many people you will benefit just by, being yourself and not second-guessing yourself all the time. And the thing that's really great is you don't have to dress the way that I dressed when I was a teenager. Like, when I was growing up, plus-size clothing was pretty hard to get, and we didn't even really have, buying clothes on the internet. Like, I had to get a lot of my clothes when I was a teenager out of a catalog, because I flat out refused to wear blue jeans because I was such a weird teenager. I don't know. Everyone else wears blue jeans. I can't wear blue jeans. I still don't like them, though. Anyway, so a lot of what I wore was kind of old lady-ish. That's what they made in my sizes. And I kind of liked the puzzle of trying to figure out how to make stuff be in my style. I was very focused on like accessories, and then I'd buy like basic stuff and like, embellish it, or like cut the sleeves off, cut the neckline, change this, that, the other thing, like I can't sew, but I did very basic like alterations to things, which worked because, I had this little like punky thing going on, and unfinished hems are perfectly fine for that aesthetic. But like these days, you can dress however you want, and there's plus size clothing to suit your aesthetic, I mean, and so I hereby give you permission, whatever it is that you want to wear but you're not sure that you can pull off, you can pull it off. You can. Wear it. Enjoy yourself. There are people watching you who are going to be inspired by you. And it's not going to come from people you necessarily expect it from. So be brave, be fearless, be bold, be yourself, because you have no idea how much reckless good you can do just by being who you are. Family members, I am really hoping, I'm finally getting my meds in order, so I'm really hoping that tomorrow I can go back to normal. It's been a rough week, and I don't know, I'm so glad that I have this outlet to talk to y'all, whoever it is that does care to listen, because, it makes it a lot easier to think about one day from the next when I can be like, oh yeah, that's the day I made X video. Isn't that a strange thing, you know? So that's the other thing I would recommend you do. Make your own videos, make whatever it is. Don't hold back, you know, live your life. You're so fortunate that you have whatever opportunities you have, you know, take them. And if you don't have a ton of opportunities, because you're struggling and you're scrapping and you're fighting, don't beat yourself up. You're doing fine. You know, you're doing fine. So, let's see here. Let's get a little bit of animal action. Let's see who we got. We got Socks. We got Cammy. We got Casey Bear. All of them had to snuggle with me while I talked at you for a bit. Take care of yourself, family members. Hopefully a little more perky when I talk to you next.